Okay, New York session live, equity open in under 10 minutes here. Currently looking at MNQ. All right, so took a few trades today. Took a trade over here in Asia session to the top, and then I tried again over here. That was a stop loss. And then in London session, I got a fake out of the low over here, took it straight up. That was a nice one. And that was it. Didn't trade another one, but there was a trade over there, I think on the little bit difficult here, but I'm sure there was a time frame maybe on the M2 where price pulled back, faked out the low. Actually, let me check. I think I saw it earlier. Okay, so right here, faking out the low, trend breakout, take it up. And now in New York session, obviously bullish, strong bullish move, but we're at all-time highs now. And I kind of would expect price to actually come down and fake out a low before continuing. For me, I find it very rare that New York Equity Open will just go from a high and continue up. I think it's got to come down and fake out the low. So nothing on the chart is letting me know that that's going to be the case. This is just intuition. And so Equity Open, I'm probably going to be cautious about a strong push down. But the thing with momentum theory is even if I have that bias, it has to show on the chart. And right now, actually, it does show. We have a strong push down, currently breaking out below the low. So coming into the open, we're breaking out above the high, but right at support level here for a trend breakout on the M5. So actually, anything can happen here. So it's going to be an interesting open. We're trading above the range on the higher time frames. We're above the H4 high. Actually, we're just faking out the H4 high. Yeah, all right. So this is going to be a dangerous open. I do still think that this is going to come down. I feel like it has to fake out a low before continuing up. And so usually that's what's going to happen at in New York session. You'll usually find, let's go to 15 minutes here. 3 more minutes to go. If you have a strong directional move, New York would pull that back for the continuation. And so that's sort of what I'm thinking is going to happen. Right? Pushing up, strong push down. Let's see. Obviously, not all the time, but very often New York will push that entire thing down before continuing. Right, so that's kind of the idea that if we're going up, that it's going to slam it down before continuing. That's just experience with NAS. So let's see what this thing does. Yeah, we're faking out that H4 high. So we try to break out of the range and then failed so far. H1 is bearish. And the H8 I think was bullish. The lower time frames are showing me, yeah, so here's a range level and we broke out of that range, breakout phase, trend phase, and then now we're kind of right below coming into the open. So yeah, anything can happen here. I do want to see this get pushed down. I don't think there's going to be a play for me right at the open. So if anything, I'm going to wait for these levels to get triggered. Okay, 1 more minute. All right, 5 seconds here. Let's see where this thing is going to go. If I don't find anything clean at the open, I'm going to wait for the H1. Just observing, I can't really take this move. Going to switch over to the 5 minutes. Don't need to see this anymore. Drop down to the 5 seconds. So we try to break out of that range, and now we are getting in. Hasn't confirmed a closure yet. Showing some strength to the upside. Still making its way down. Here's a possible place where it can start reversing if it's going to be bullish. You want to see it get back above this H2. So just observing. I don't think this is a tradable open for a short. Okay, just being patient, waiting for these 5-minute bars to close. So at the open, if I don't find anything, I usually wait for 5-minute closures. I don't see any setup for a sell. Slicing through that range level. If it does that, then I would think it's going to get to that H4 low. It's getting really close to there. So I would kind of think that it's going to head there or at the low of the day, maybe range levels. Lots of targets to the downside. If it gets there, then I'm going to be ready to reverse that. If it doesn't get there, then I'm going to wait for an M5 closure. Right now, the M5 is bearish trend. These trend reversal bars, I want to see at least a bullish one before looking for a continuation. How's ES doing? Yeah, ES, same thing. Get up to the high. I think this is a lot cleaner. I've been focused on NAS while I'm working out my scalping NAS in every session. So this looks pretty good. Gold sells. Haven't really been paying attention to other charts, just looking at NAS. All right, let's see. If this closes bearish, then I would think that this is going to head down. Okay, but for me, nothing yet. I got to wait for the setup, so I'll just pause it for now. All right, so hit the target, was correct about that pullback. This is what I expect New York to do. So hopefully anybody who was long and just continued to hold took their profits. And at this point, there's still some levels that I can continue pushing through. H8 lows right over there. I think the H12. Still no sign of any sort of reversal. H12 is right there as well. Gonna mark that off. We're at a range level here. So I do want to see price stay above this range breakout level. Been working on phases recently, right? So we're in a breakout phase. As long as we stay above this, I'm going to be looking for buys. And I'm not going to catch this thing just, the strong push. I need to see a trend reversal bar, bullish one. A little bit annoying. If I got in earlier, at the very minimum, I need to see an H1 high fake out, and you have that H1 high fake out here. So this could possibly be the place where I would have gone short. But yeah, that's all hindsight. Didn't I think it's always safer to wait for equity open, and I just didn't have a setup here. Maybe a breakout. It's at 8:30. No, not my style to take that. There was one on the 5. Yeah, so the 5 seconds I did have a trend continuation. So could have taken that one if I really wanted to go for that. But I think it was a little bit tricky. I needed to see price get under the H8 high. So probably around here would be the first time that I'd be confident to take a sell underneath that H8 high. Technically, there's one here, but that's a really difficult one to take. Another one here, but already too close to the target. All right. I wouldn't say this is a mistrade or anything. Um, I think I traded it the way that I should have. And so now I'm going to be waiting for this reversal. All right. So basically, I'm just going to wait for a 5-minute bullish trend reversal bar, and then I'll try to get in for a move back up. We did drop quite a bit. So let's see. Has it ever, after such a long, strong drop like that, it doesn't usually reverse straight away. Right, usually takes some time for that reversal. Actually, this one is actually immediate. Just trying to see some signs if how fast this thing reverses. Okay. Anyways, I'm just going to be looking at momentum. If momentum shows me any reversal, then I'll go for it. But let's see. Maybe I just switch over to something else. These are gone. Gold. Pullbacks, maybe. All right. Gonna wait for the H1 bar to close, and then I'll see where we are in that the next bar. All right, so now we're getting a bullish trend reversal bar on the M5. Still 7 more minutes until the next hour, so I'll wait for that. But if it does close like this is where I'll start looking for a move back to the top here. All right, H1 bar in 5 seconds. Looks like it's faking out the H4 low. M5 didn't close the way that I wanted. Still very tricky price action here. Such a strong move, I wouldn't reverse that without some sort of fake out. So I think what I'll be doing is looking for a short. Just a short one, just scalping. Want to see a price pull back, continue on down. Okay, we're pushing on up here. We are faking out that low, so Have to be a bit careful. Okay, we got a closure above. If it closes below, then I'll go for that. Okay, close below the M1 breakout level. Okay, going for that. And let's see. All right. Just kind of struggling a little bit at that level. I drop this down if it wants to get up. Okay. So out on that one, about 80 points. Wanted to take that whole bit, but it's at a level with a range breakout. It's at a range here as well. And I do like to take it from one momentum time frame to the other. The original one was down here, but um, yeah, just kind of struggled here. Fake out level right there. So, okay, taking that one, and still think it's going to go down close to the next M30. So usually there's going to be some retracement if it doesn't continue pushing. So I'm happy with that. Okay, so took that. Also right at the range breakout level, so I don't really want to test anything there. Okay, so I think that's the only trade that I could have taken at the open. Did have a bearish bias. If I came in earlier, I could have caught that one, but I waited for equity open, which was right here, dumped. I don't really would like to take breakouts, so I just waited for price to pull back. I did have a bullish bias once we got to this H12, but didn't show me any sign of bullish momentum. So still bearish on this one, and ended up taking the, was it on this time frame? Can't remember if I took this one or the M30. I think probably H1. Yeah. So this is an H1 trend retracement, and for me, I don't want to risk all that I made just for that little bit. So I'm happy with that. Okay, so that's it. 80 points there. And let's see if this wants to continue or start to look for reversals. But I think that's it for New York Open, and I'll look for something else later.